Part 2.
All right, this is part 2 of tonight's discussion, and this topic is social media and peer pressure. Pressure from other teens, friends, social media, whatever it may be. All right, and we want to discuss this topic because there's times when we feel like children or teenagers may get into a lot of things, not so much because they want to, but because of the peer pressure, the social media influences. But you understand what peer pressure is?
I don't know. Yes.
Okay. What's your definition of it? Yeah.
You're getting forced to do something?
Not forced, but yeah, kind of like, look, man, if you don't do it, we ain't gonna be cool. If you don't do it, such and such, man, you gotta do this. You gotta do it. Give other teens tips on how to not become a victim of peer pressure.
Basically, you just don't let nobody like get to your head, or don't let nobody take advantage of you like that. Because when they take advantage of you, then they're just like, oh, I could just do this because I know that they're not gonna trip or anything or do nothing like that. So like, you just like make sure you keep people in place.
Okay. All right. So she's saying it's important to let people know where you stand and keep them in their place. If you see someone trying to, pressure you or anything like that, like basically nip it in the butt right away so they know you're not someone they can push over. Any other advice for teenagers dealing with peer pressure? Or maybe wanting to be accepted into a certain group and feeling like if they don't do a certain thing, they won't be accepted.
Make your own group. You don't need.
Say it loud. Say it proud. Say it again.
You can make your own group. You don't need somebody to like do stuff that you could be by yourself. You could have your own group. Mm-hmm. You don't need people in your life.
Exactly. You can be okay by yourself. You can be your own friend, because at this age, I'm not going to say there's not any real friends, but it's very hard to find a real loyal friend at the age of 12, 13 with all the stuff going on. So if you find a good one, hold on to them. All right. So also with social media. Social media can be very challenging. It can also cause a lot of pressure and sometimes even anxiety. For not just teenagers, but for everybody. Do you see any issues when it comes to social media? With teenagers or with yourself? Or other teenagers that have issues with social media or bullying on social media?
See, I don't find anything wrong with it. Not the bullying part, but like I don't find anything else wrong with it. But like, besides the bullying part, I don't understand what's the point of it, because y'all don't. I'm sorry. I don't be making fun of people on social media, but I be just to be like on the phone, make friends and like joking with, but like I don't know about bullying.
Okay, but you have heard of the stories where
people kill themselves for bullying? Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that happens?
Because when people are talking like down on somebody. Like, if it happened enough, eventually they're just gonna be like, oh, nobody wants me here. I don't want this, so why don't I just leave? Like,
and they just, yeah. All right, so, and what do you think teens, in case there's teenagers that are watching this video that get bullied or that feel like I shouldn't even be here and they want to give up, like, what advice would you give to them? What would you say to them right now if they're saying, look, because I think you had someone at that time that was kind of going through that. Like, what would you say to them if they're like, look, I'm just going to go end it all, whatever. What would you say to them?
I don't know, yo. You just can't focus on what other people are saying about you. You have to just focus on yourself and what you're doing. Like, they'll always care about what other people are saying about you, what they think about you, because it's not them, it's you. I don't know why they be worried about you when it's you. So it's not them, it's you. So you do you no matter what nobody said.
Yeah, so what she's saying is, when she says it's you, meaning it's all about you and how you feel about yourself, right? Not how they feel about you. Okay. And then also, what else should they do if they don't know how to maybe talk themselves out of it? What else would you tell them to do?
I mean, find somebody that can relate to your problems and y'all can talk it out together. Like,
talk to your parents. Talk to someone.
Don't. Yeah, I do that.
We just say don't talk to your parents. That's probably the main people that can, unless your parents are, taking you through a lot. But even if it's, if you have a good friend, yes, talk to a friend. If you feel you can't talk to your parents, find a responsible adult or adult you can trust to talk to and let them know what your feelings are.
Oh, I did that just so that I could talk to people. I could be a therapist.
Okay, well, be a therapist. Because, hey, somebody may be on YouTube and let's take this serious, honestly, because it happens. What if there's a child on YouTube and they're just sitting there like, oh my, I can't take this. And they put in saying, look, if I can find something to just give me some hope. And they put in teen suicide or help with suicide or no one to talk to. And they come across this video. You can actually help that person. So, speak to them and say, listen.
Like I said earlier, don't think about what they're saying. And, don't give them what they want. Because if they talk it down and you talking bad about you, obviously they want you gone. They don't want you to be here. So, basically, doing it will basically be giving them what they want. And then they will be winning at the end of the day. So, you can't let that happen because then they'll be like, oh, I did this, I did that. And they wasn't nothing anyway. So, you're basically just proving them right. So, you got to just stay strong for yourself.
Stay strong.
You can't just care. You just basically sometimes you just gotta block everybody off. Literally.
Have that tunnel vision. Just focus on you.
Yes, just listen to music.
And that's funny you say that because music actually, and not just for kids or teens or for everybody, music is therapy. The right type of music. Because nowadays I hear some rappers, they have some depressing music. You got some rap songs where they saying they finna do something to themselves. So don't listen to that type of music, okay? But you listen to the right type of music. That can be a therapy for you. I know there's times I'm going through it or whatever, if I'm going through it, or especially when I was a child going through things, all I knew was me and my music. That was it.
I don't know. I just listen. You could just look up like inspirational things, just say inspirational videos about whatever you're going through. I don't even do it. I just listen to Rob Wayne.
Rob Wayne, be okay. Just like other things. Also, another thing that I hope is helpful that I did in their bedrooms before and that I want to do again, and not even just in the bedrooms, but also in their bathroom. And what I was doing on the walls.
Quotes all over the place.
Okay, so yeah, even if your parents don't do it for you, or parents, a good thing to do if you see your child is struggling with anything, put quotes on the walls or pictures on the walls. And what I did was, whatever I felt my children needed to hear or see or be reminded of, I just printed out a couple quotes. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Printed it out. That way, when they get up, they can say, oh, okay, remember, I'm beautiful today. Remember, think positive. Whatever. I would just have a bunch of quotes. Or sometimes not just serious. There would be some funny quotes to make them laugh or whatever. And maybe try doing that for your children. If, they see they're kind of struggling and they need that extra push or just a little more encouragement, just put some positive things on their walls for them. Some affirmations on the walls and say, hey, before you leave out of the room in the morning, remind yourself of this. Remind yourself that you can do it. Remind yourself that you're strong. Remind yourself that you matter. And then again, I even had some things in the bathroom. Before you leave the bathroom, I know they're probably tired of me. They're seeing these words here, these words there. Words can help a lot, And myself, there's times where I'm going to be going through it. And I'm sure everyone can relate where you see the right thing at the right time or you hear the right thing at the right time. All right, so again, that to me is a very good idea. Post those quotes, post those sayings, those scriptures, whatever you need to make sure your children get it, not just from you, but they have that constant reminder. And again, some teens are in their rooms quite a bit. So if they're going to be in their room quite a bit, best believe you're going to be seeing this positive thing here, or that positive thing there. That reminder here, constant. It's there. You're going to be there. You're going to be encouraged while you're in there. Now, what are you saying?
I was saying, like you said, words can help a lot. They can also hurt a lot.
And why do you say that?
I mean, cause just how by what you say could hurt a person, you could say good things and it will make a person feel better. Even the most littlest thing, because you never know how bad somebody's hurting. So even the littlest thing you say could make their day.
Yeah. So remind, other children and teenagers, you have to watch what you say to other people. You just never know. You never know what they're dealing with at home. And I know a lot of teens pick on kids because of their clothes, or because they don't have the latest this, or because they don't have the latest that, or because they may look a certain way. You have some teenage bullies or some elementary school age bullies that may be going through things on their own, or maybe not. Maybe they just want to be mean. But it's important to keep in mind these children may go home and be living in a nightmare at home. And you don't want to be the cause of additional fears, additional tears, or anything like that. So like she said, words can help you and they can hurt you. And some kids are strong enough to say, look, I don't care what you say. But then you have a lot of children that don't know how to build themselves back up. Yes. Why are you raising your hand like you in class?
Because you talking too much.
Okay.
They might act like it don't hurt them, but like in the inside, like it will actually hurt them. And you don't know what they do, and what they think about what people say about them when they go home. So they might put out an act like all in front of people, but then when they go home or like when they get alone time, they just let it all out,
break down.
They know it was hurt, but they didn't want to do it.
Yeah, and they break down by themselves when nobody knows, right? And that can cause depression. When you weren't here, when you were out of town, you probably saw the video we did talk about. Did you watch the video about depression?
I just like them. Oh no,
you just like the videos. You don't watch them.
I watched some of them.
Okay, so while you were gone, we covered teen depression and suicide and things like that. And so I'm glad we came back to that. Like she's saying, there's a lot of times where they may act like it doesn't bother them. And your teens or your children may be in the room just crying and you don't even know. And I think those are those crucial times, those crucial moments where they make those split decisions and may feel like, look, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want to be here. I can't take the pressure. And in that video, we kind of mentioned, hey, it's important to talk to your kids. Say, hey, what's going on or how you feel about whatever. I know with Shani, she'll tell you sometimes she say, I used to talk so much, she felt like I was talking too much. Or I may just whatever, and she think it's unnecessary conversations. But do you think it'll help a child that's going through something that may not know how to come to their parents and say, look, I'm going through this, if their parents actually go to them and say, hey, are you okay? What's on your mind? Do you need to talk? What do you want to tell parents if they have children or teenagers, how to make sure their child is okay if their child doesn't know how to say I'm not okay?
I mean, usually the ones that like that are the most hurt, they won't say anything. They will literally just act like nothing's wrong with them the whole time. Like even if what you say to them, like nothing you could say will make them say they're not okay. So they just hold it in, like nothing's wrong. I mean,
But what can a parent do to make sure their child isn't going through that and let them know you can talk to me?
I'm just sit in front of them and be like, just take your time, talk to me when you're ready to talk to me. You don't have to rush, you're in a rush or anything. Yeah. Just let them talk at their own pace.
And I always tell her too, look, you don't talk right or whatever. That's when I ended up finding that journal, that mommy-daughter journal. Because there are times where, are you okay with me sharing that? Because it can help somebody else. Okay. So there are times where she didn't want to talk to me or whatever, or she didn't feel comfortable talking to me. And on Amazon, they had these mother-daughter journals. So the things that she wouldn't want to say to me verbally or may not have known how I was going to take it, it was like a get to know us, get to know mommy on another level, get to know your daughter on another level, or your son. They have it for sons also. And you would start, mommy would write something down, then you would pass give it to your child or leave it on their bed or whatever. When they have the time or when they feel like they're ready to write, they'll write, give it back to you. and it's different subjects, or there's free space for them to say, hey, this is what's going on. And I found out to be very helpful. One of the questions, for example, would say, in case she never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. For example, one of the questions for her to get to know me better would be, when you were a child, what dreams did you have? And I could say, when I was a child, your age, I wanted to be an actor. And then I could say to her, you know, I could write back to her, well, what do you really see yourself doing? What do you think? You know, that whole thing. Or if she wanted to say, well, what were you afraid of when you were a child? I could write back to her and say, when I was a child and I was around your age, I was afraid to talk to people. I was afraid, and I'm just using examples, I was afraid to make new friends. I was afraid of being rejected. And then it'll say, and how did you fix that issue? And I'll say, okay, well, to feel better about that, I did this. And if my daughter was going through that same thing, she could say, hey, my mom was going through the same thing and this is what she did. Or let me try. Or there's times when she was angry. You remember that? And you'll write me an angry note. And then I'd be like, oh, I know this girl ain't just write me no angry note. But the thing is, even though she was angry, that journal helps her communicate what she was angry about. Right? So it was a big help. So again, if you are finding that your children don't want to talk to you, but you know it's something they need to get off their chest, and it wasn't even just not wanting to talk. It's also if you want to just build that relationship, make the relationship better. You know, and it kind of put me in mind to when we were kids back in the days. Well, now they just text each other, but when we were in school, we were just passing notes, you know? So it kind of put you in the mind of, look, I'm passing notes to my homegirl. Hey, I'm passing notes to whatever. And we talking back and forth and just waiting for, damn, when I'm getting it back. In high school, we would write notes in between classes and find that person, oh, he'll got a note back or whatever. And it was kind of like the same thing. These kids nowadays wouldn't understand that. But yeah, when we would write in our journal.
You write notes.
You gotta write notes in school?
Yeah.
Even though y'all got cell phones?
Oh, like when we, like in elementary school.
Oh, in elementary school.
Like when we go to schools that take our phones, we write notes.
I'll tell you, but everything they put in place, y'all got to find another way.
And when we used to use our computers, we used to all make a Gmail group chat.
If y'all a teacher, that she's telling you all, giving you all the tea. But yes, again, I'm gonna find that journal. Or you can just go on Amazon and type in mother-daughter or mother-son or father and son journals, and you'll see just how interesting they are. Oh my gosh, it's a big help. Did you think it was helpful? The journal?
I guess.
No, seriously, did you think it was? You wasn't excited to like, I really felt like it was a big help. No, I'm serious. Didn't you feel like you was able to say things to me there that you weren't able to say to me verbally?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that matters. And like she just said, she may not have said it to me verbally, but that journal, she was able to write it down. And it wasn't me in her face, like, because I used to be like, ain't that wrong with you? You ain't gonna tell me what's wrong with you? What's going on with you? And that journal she had all the time she wanted. And it wouldn't be, sometimes it wouldn't be the same day I would get it back. You know, maybe when I got home from work, I would give it to her before I left work. Most times she would just put it back in my room when I got home, or sometimes it was the next day or 2 or 3 days, whenever she felt, okay, I'm ready to talk about this, or I'm in the mood to write about this. So again, look for that. Parent, children, journals, very big help if you need help communicating with your kids. Any other pointers? Anything to help anybody, or just to say, hey, don't forget about this, or don't forget about that, or make sure you do this? Any other words of encouragement or anything? That's it. And I think we kind of helped out today. So yeah, again, talk to your teens, talk to your parents, or talk to a good friend, not just anybody, but talk to a good, responsible friend that's going to give you good advice. If they're not giving you good advice, that's not the friend you need to go to, or a friend you need to have at all.
The best advice. I give the best advice.
She said she gives the best advice. So teens, if you need a teen that's going to give you the best advice, comment down below, because she says she's a therapist at this point. So we don't know. But until the next video, as we always say, if you have any topics or any suggestions, please let us know. And we will learn and we will grow together.